Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we are tackling a really interesting game theory problem. Before we jump in, a quick reminder that if anything doesn't make sense as we go along, please drop a question in the comments and I will make sure to respond to help you out. Today's challenge is Leetcode problem 1927, sum game. Let's get right into figuring out how this one works. Here is the problem page. It might look a little wordy with the rules, so let's break it down visually to understand exactly what Alice and Bob are trying to do. We are given a string that represents a number, but some of the digits are missing and are replaced by question marks. The length of this string is always an even number. The main mechanic of the game revolves around splitting this string perfectly down the middle into a left half and a right half. On their turn, a player chooses one of the question marks and replaces it with any single digit from 0 to 9. Alice and Bob take turns doing this until all the question marks are gone. Alice always makes the very first move. Here is how they win. Bob is the player who wants balance. He wins if, at the very end of the game, the total sum of the digits in the left half is exactly equal to the sum of the digits in the right half. Alice, on the other hand, wants chaos. She wins if the sum of the left half does not equal the sum of the right half when the game is over. If both players play perfectly, our job is to figure out who wins. Let's look at the approach from the Leetcode editorial, which involves a bit of logical deduction and mathematical verification. To crack this, we need to think deeply about the number of turns. Think about the total count of question marks in the whole string, if there is an odd number of them. Because Alice goes first, if the total number of question marks is odd, Alice is guaranteed to make the very last move of the game. Why is going last so powerful? Because if she goes last, there's only one specific digit that could possibly make the sums equal for Bob. Since she has 10 digits to choose from 0 to 9, she can simply pick literally any other digit, ruin the balance, and win the game. So we have our first major shortcut. If we count the total question marks and that number is odd, we don't even need to do any more math. Alice is guaranteed to win. What if the total count of question marks is even? In that case, Bob gets the final say. Bob will use this advantage to try and force the two sides to be equal. Let's imagine a scenario where the starting sums of both halves are already equal, say 10 on the left and 10 on the right. And let's say there is one question mark on the left and one on the right. Whatever Alice decides to put in her question mark, Bob will simply mirror her move on the other side. If she adds a 7 to the left, he adds a 7 to the right. He maintains the balance perfectly, and he wins. But what happens if we have two question marks on the exact same side? Let's say the left side has two question marks, and the right side has a known total of 9. If there are two question marks on the same side, Bob has a different trick. If Alice picks a digit, let's call it D, Bob will pick a digit equal to 9 minus D. For example, if Alice plays a 2, Bob plays a 7. If she plays a 5, he plays a 4. Because Bob controls the second question mark in that pair, he can always force the total sum of that pair to be exactly 9. So we've learned something crucial. Every time one side has an extra pair of question marks compared to the other side, Bob can absolutely guarantee that those two question marks will add up to exactly 9. This means for Bob to win, the initial difference between the sums of the numbers already on the board must perfectly balance out with the number of extra question mark pairs. We can write this as a rule. The difference between the starting sum on the left and the right must exactly equal the number of extra pairs of question marks multiplied by 9. Or, written another way, the difference in sums must equal half of the difference in the number of question marks, times 9. If this formula holds true, Bob wins. If it doesn't, Alice is guaranteed to win. Here is the full Python solution implementing that exact logic. It looks very compact, so let's break down exactly what each part is doing. First, we have a helper function called get. We pass it a piece of the string, and it simply counts up two things: the total sum of all the real numbers in that string, and the total count of the question marks. It returns both of these values. We use that helper function on the two halves of our main string. We slice the string down the middle. For the first half, we store its sum and question mark count in variables ending in 0. For the second half, we store them in variables ending in 1. Finally, the return statement. It checks our two win conditions for Alice. Remember, we return true if Alice wins. The first condition is our shortcut. It adds the question marks from both halves. If the total is an odd number, the remainder when divided by 2 is 1. If that's true, Alice wins automatically. If the total is even, it checks our formula. It takes the difference in the question mark counts, multiplies by 9, and divides by 2. If this required amount does not perfectly match the actual difference in the starting sums, then Bob cannot fix it, and Alice wins. Let's map a quick example to our variables to see it in action. If our string is 25 question mark, the left half is 25, and the right half is the two question marks. For the first half, our get function calculates a sum of 7, because 2 plus 5 is 7, and the question mark count is 0. For the second half, the sum is 0, because there are no numbers, and the question mark count is 2. Now let's plug these into the right side of our return statement. The sum difference is 7 minus 0. The required difference based on question marks is 2 minus 0 times 9 divided by 2. That simplifies to 7 is not equal to 9. Since 7 does not equal 9, the statement evaluates to true, meaning Alice wins. Bob needed the left side to be exactly 9, but it was only 7. A quick note on edge cases. What if the string already has all its numbers and no question marks, like the first example? Our mathematical formula handles this elegantly without any extra code. Both question mark counts will be 0, so the right side of the equation becomes 0. It simply checks if the starting sum of the left, which is 5, minus the starting sum of the right, which is also 5, is not equal to 0. 0 is not equal to 0 is false, so it returns false, correctly declaring Bob the winner since the halves are balanced. So how fast is this algorithm? The time complexity is order n, where n is the length of our string. We only need to iterate through the string once to count the sums and question marks. Space complexity is also order n. This is because in Python, slicing a string like we did to split it in half creates a new string in memory. We could optimize this to order 1 space by just looping through the original string directly using indexes, but the slicing approach is much easier to read. Here are a few key takeaways from this problem. First, in game theory problems, always look at who goes last. It often dictates the strategy. Second, look for mirroring or pairing strategies that force constant outcomes. And finally, finding a mathematical rule is almost always faster than trying to simulate the game turn by turn. That wraps up the logic and the Python code. I'll be showing the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript on the next few slides. If you want to test this code out yourself without retyping it, you can go to the leetcodeunlocked.com/link in the description so you can copy the code that is shown and explained in this video and help support the channel. Now let's look at those other languages. Here is the full solution implemented in Java, using a simple loop structure to keep the space complexity down. Next up, here is the C++ version, following the exact same efficient logic. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Real quick, before we finish, you might have noticed the style of this video is very punchy with lots of small visual steps. As you can probably tell, this is narrated by AI. I actually built this system to generate instant explanations to help myself study, and I am experimenting with this new format to make things easier to digest. Please let me know in the comments if you prefer this style, and remember to ask any questions you have about the problem there too. I upload these videos here in case they help you study too. Because of that, I don't put any ads on these videos, and I don't take any sponsorships, so we can all just focus on the code. If you want to help support the channel and my goal of covering every Leetcode problem, you can donate at buymeaboba.com/Leetcode daily. Also, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can get your streak done early. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.